Right, hello. Basically, you should be able to see me. I am recording another video, and I've got a couple of more to do after this. It should be about 2 videos in a row. And I am wearing my Linkin Park t-shirt because I love that band, and basically they have a new album out, so that's something to shout about. Although I'm not going to talk about Linkin Park, I'm going to talk about a book. I haven't read it yet, but I went out over the weekend and I managed to buy a book. I'm not a massive bookworm, but I do enjoy reading autobiographies and things like this. And this is a million miles from Linkin Park, basically. This is a book about Olly Murs. Now, a lot of people are going to say, Olly Murs, oh, you like the X Factor contestant. I do, I like Olly Murs, but as people may well know, I love all kinds of music, so it's very striking and interesting to imagine that I will be here wearing a Linkin Park t-shirt, and yet, which is a metal band, and yet I am talking about a book by Olly Murs. It's called Happy Days, and there are some great things in there, and some of these books are wonderful because what they do, they give you an insight into the person they are. There are some cracking pictures in there, basically, and I have a few books that have pictures in it, and I don't mind them. They're wonderful. It's like their own personal archives of rap. The one thing is, it's just that I'm very interested in various things. I enjoy reading about musicians and things like that, and I have many books all about the wonderful world of music, and that's something I really do. It's something that I'm very much having an involvement in, because I buy books like that. I don't necessarily read story books or anything like that. They generally tend to be autobiographies. Sometimes they might not be music related, they might have a bit of a entertainment factor for it, like Ant and Dec. They made music, but they have a very strong role in the entertainment industry, mostly for being actors and TV presenters rather than musicians. So, it can vary on what I would basically read a book about. Generally though, it is mostly entertainment, and the majority of them happen to be autobiographies about musicians or people that work in the music industry. Like, I read one about Pete Waterman, and that's an interesting insight to basically his life. The interesting thing about that is there's 2 things in there. Well, you could say 3 things, but the 2 main interests that come from Pete Waterman is his love of trains and his love of music. And I only paid $2.99 for this because I bought it from basically The Works, which is a wonderful, fantastic bookshop that we have in the UK. They basically sell discount books. They don't sell every single book though. That's one of the things that you have to remember about when you go to that particular bookshop, because unlike other bookshops, they sell a majority of books. You can walk into Waterstones or whatever and there will be an array of books. If you're looking for a particular type of book, you can practically go to Waterstones and almost order it, and that is something you do. The Works don't tend to be like that. They tend to have various books, but they don't necessarily have them all. I mean, I might go into the niche market of buying the Rare Record Price Guide book released by Record Collector magazine. Now, going into Waterstones, they will stock it. Other bookshops like that may well stock it. But this is not the point of when you go to something like The Works. They don't just suddenly stock this type of book and then, and if they did, it'll be cheaper anyway, but they don't normally. But what they do, they do certain books where you can buy them, and often what happens is they go into the sale or they get discounted. So where you would normally go to WH Smith or Waterstones and people would pay $16.99 for a book like this, they're gonna pay maybe a little bit less, £10 maybe. If it goes out into the clearance or the sale, then it's going to be whatever, £3, for a book like this, which is fantastic, and it's a wonderful. I'm going to enjoy reading them, as I said. I think Olly Murs, to me, as an artist, I think he's one of the great contestants of X Factor because he seems to be like a bit of a showman. I like that idea. I like the cheeky chappy that he is. He's a bit like Robbie Williams. To me, he makes great pop records. He's got that greatness about him. That's what I like about Olly Murs. There's some great songs out there that he does, and You know, I don't know all the words to all his songs, but I do know the songs that he releases, like, and that because I've often heard radio stations that play a lot of his songs. You know, I'm listening to them and it'll be like, my heart skips the beat, so come on, send me around, and I want, you know, and they'll play things like, dear darling, please excuse my writing. There's obviously, you know, whatever songs that they might well be playing. So yeah, I just wanted to share basically this book, basically, photography by Dean Freeman. I don't know who that is, but basically, I think as I would, I've really got to read it because I'm not quite sure if it's actually a big, huge autobiography about his life, but I do know that it's bound to be. It's called Happy Days. That must be the title of it, and it's an official one as far as I know. So these are the ones that you would rather read than somebody giving you an unofficial biography about somebody and going read it, because I don't know all the tales to tell. But anyway, apart from that, I'm going to leave it there because I've got one more blog to do after this, and then I'll think about what else I'm going to talk about in the next few vlogs. Bye for now.